Hello and welcome to Everyday Tarot, your daily dive into the divine wisdom of the tarot. I'm your host, Camille A. Saunders, healer, intuitive tarot reader, and professional witch, and today I'm talking about the Ophidia Rosa Tarot deck by Leila and Olive. Whether you're a seasoned tarot reader or just starting to explore, this podcast offers daily insights, intuitive messages, and practical advice drawn from the cards. Each episode is designed to help you connect with your inner wisdom, find clarity in your decisions, and tap into the energy of the universe. Tune in every day, Monday through Friday, for fresh perspectives, empowering guidance from the tarot as interpreted by me. If you love the show, the best way to support it for free is by listening daily, leaving a review, and subscribing or following in your favorite podcast app. If you join my newsletter list, you can get my free 2025 5-card tarot spread I created just for you, my lovely listeners, at the beginning of this year. And I know we're getting to the end of 2025, and I'll probably make a new spread for next year. But also I think it'd be super interesting to do the 5-card spread now and kind of look back on your year to see what was I going through? What did it want to tell me? And then what actually happened? And what do I think aligns with that? And I think this is a bit of a teaser here, or a spoiler, or a excitement, but I'm going to actually, I think, go through my 2025 5-card tarot spread at the end of this year on the podcast and do my own kind of reflection about the podcast. We'll get real meta on the situation. But yeah, if you want to grab that tarot spread, you can do that by joining my newsletter list. My weekly newsletter always has the most up-to-date information on upcoming events, presentations, musings, and info and photos of my day-to-day life. I am looking for 1 to 2 more guests to be on the podcast before the end of 2025. So if you're interested or know someone that might be a good fit, please fill out my form to be a guest on the podcast, or you can email me, me@CamilleASaunders.com, if you have someone to recommend, their contact information or anything like that, and I will go ahead and reach out to them. If you're local and you want to meet me in person, you can join us for our last full moon circle of 2025 on December 7th. Celebrate the glow of the full moon with me and my colleague Izzy for the evening of connection, reflection, and ritual. We meet at Thresholds Collective in Tacoma the first Sunday of the month to welcome in the full moon together. And tickets for the December 7th event are up now. We start at 5:30 p.m., around a 90-minute event. And then, it's really fun to do that together, so I would love to see you there. You can find the links for any of these offers in the show notes or on my website, CamilleASaunders.com/everydaytarot, in addition to the images of the cards I pull on each episode. All right, welcome to season 19, where I'm talking about different decks and how to use them. If you haven't listened to my other seasons yet, you can check those out. I just wrapped up my season 18 on color magic. So if you're interested in an introduction to color magic or in a particular color, and you want to know what, its magical days of the week or correspondences it has, check out that season. And like I said, we're now into season 19, where I'm talking about different decks and how to use them. And today I'm talking about the Ophidia Rosa Tarot deck by Leila and Olive. So the style of deck, it is a tarot deck. Where did I get the deck? This is one of the few decks that I bought online when they were advertising for it. I guess it would have been probably in 2019, 2020, around that time. I follow Leila and Olive on Instagram, I know. So if you like the look of this deck, you can check them out there. They're at leilaolive.com, leilaolive.com. Okay, it says this came out in 2017. Interesting. So maybe I got my first tarot deck all the way back in 2016. This is very interesting. I didn't realize this because I'm pretty sure I got this one. I remember them advertising it on their Instagram and seeing some of the imagery for it and being super excited for it. This deck is a lot more, it's the style of it, sort of imagery wise, is matte. So it's not glossy. It does have yellow or golden gilded edges, but it's not shiny in that way. It's a matte color. Again, if you listen to my color magic season, we talked about yellow versus gold or gray versus silver. So it doesn't have that metallic aspect to it. The deck box and the back of the cards are black, and then they have kind of imagery, almost like perhaps hand-drawn imagery of a snake that's coiled, and then we see kind of like vines with flowers, both around the snake as it's coiled and then along the edges. And then if you look at the front of the cards, you see there's like a black border, very like natural, almost like how a wand often looks in like the wand suit, where it's like kind of obviously a stick. It looks like that. They do use Roman numerals for their numbers. Like this is wands and this is the 7 of wands. So we see the 7 in Roman numerals at the top and the wands at the bottom. I said where I got the deck. Any changes from the Rider-Waite-Smith? I don't think so. I'm actually not like wildly familiar with this deck, even though I've had it a long time. It is not my favorite. I love the imagery of it. It's very cool looking. And when I tabled at Tacoma Pride this year, like where I had stuff about the podcast to promote the podcast, and I was pulling cards for folks just for free, like 1-card drawings for anyone that was coming by. I also had tarot card crafting there, which was super fun, where I had all my supplies. So I'm just kind of looking through right now at about the major arcana cards, but a lot of people were drawn to this deck, which is how I felt at the time as well. Like seeing it online, it says the Ophidia Rosa is an intuitive tarot, a tool for guidance, transformation, and wanderlust in the natural realm. It's designed by Nicole Rallis, and like I said, it's from leilaolive.com. Yeah, so like I said, it's a lot of botanical images. There are a lot of snake imagery, like the magician is the Ouroboros snake, like the snake eating its own tail. There's often flowers or sort of botanical things. On almost all of the cards, they use mushrooms for the Pentacles suit. So I guess that's one aspect that's not traditional from the Rider-Waite-Smith, is that their interpretation of like wands are very like natural, stick-like. Pentacles are shown in the form of mushrooms. Let's see, just looking through here. The swords are unclear, but a bit more like not sticks, but like stems of a plant, I believe. Yeah, like here's one that's like a peony or rose stem. It is very cool and hand-drawn looking, so it's a lot of like I don't really know what it's made of, but like pen drawings, I would say, on paper. Let's see. I know that the suits are supposed to be kind of different seasons of the year. So mushrooms would probably be like fall season, perhaps. Yeah, they are still selling this one on their website. They have multiple decks, or a lot of decks now. Actually, the Ophidia Rosa is on sale, probably because it's an older one. They have a botanical tarot, Pythia Botanica Oracle, botanical tarot deck, Maiden Oracle. Okay, that one's sold out, and Ad or Beta Tarot. So if you like the art on this, and I'll show, you know, whatever card I pull, and I'll show the tarot deck box, it might be a good one to check out. I would say, so if we, you know, so the imagery, like I said, dark, I would say sort of floral and botanical for sure. I just say dark because the back of it is black, the box is black. It does have a cool vibe to it, I feel like. So yeah, it's not always obvious on the cards, like on a wands card. Like they don't necessarily do the like, okay, there's 3 cups, so there's 3 cup-shaped things on the card. Like they don't really do that. The major arcana ones are probably some of my favorite ones. But yeah, so what I like to use it for is like, you could use it for anyone that's very familiar with tarot. It has very short and sweet interpretations. So occasionally I might have used this deck on the podcast when I pull my card at the end, if I just wanted something like I said, like short and sweet. Where did I put the deck guidebook? It's just like a fold out. Oh, here it is. It's just like a paper, almost like a piece of paper that's been folded in half and then in half again. So like in fourths. It is laminated, so it's not gonna like crumble on you or anything, but so I'll go ahead. Yeah, so it has pretty short and sweet interpretations. I'll just pull a card briefly right here. Oh, I pulled the Magician one. Okay. So you just kind of go and look at the, we're in the major arcana here. For the Magician, it says, 1, the Magician, all is before you, a cycle of voice. You've already begun, but before you, a choice. So they have these kind of like limericks, I don't know, haikus, short poems. I don't know exactly how they explain it. I was going to see if they said here. It says, it's a deck, something more intuitively tangible was born of the tarot, where even the phases of the moon and the mysterious serpentine movements of creatures in the garden brimmed with the power for prophecy, contemplation, redemption, and a quest. There's always something growing in our hearts, transforming ourselves and our vision from the soil to the stars. So yeah, if you're very familiar with the tarot, you want a pretty botanical deck, you like the imagery, you're looking to expand your collection. Again, you're familiar with all the suits and things and that kind of thing, like, great. If you are new to tarot, I would not recommend it because it has very limited, like the deck guidebook is not really a guidebook. It's just like a single piece of paper that's folded. They don't really give you any guide to the cards. They just give the sort of short, like a stanza poem, basically. So I wouldn't use it if you're looking for like familiar imagery. Like there's very little that's familiar about it. Again, maybe like, I think I just saw like the world. Nope, that wasn't even the world one. But yeah, I would say like it's pretty unique. And if you're looking for like a lot of depth or a detailed tarot deck guidebook, like would not recommend this one. Like I said, it doesn't really have any changes from the Rider-Waite-Smith style, like in format or in structure. So again, like no real big changes there. You can get the deck on their website still. That's where I got it. And I do like their imagery and how they speak about the tarot. Personally though, again, like it's not my favorite. I feel like it's, even though I know a lot about tarot now, I still will pull it and be like, I have no idea what that means. Because I don't really find their guidebook to be very helpful. Like it's interesting, but I feel like I have to know about the card itself already before I'm gonna like understand. If I'm gonna understand the card at all, I have to have knowledge going into it. It also like I said, the wands, the pentacles, like the suits, there's like not a lot of consistency throughout. Like I said, the pentacles were mushrooms, but like they're not, because this pentacles card has no mushrooms on it. So yeah, you've been warned. Like I said, I like it. This is like probably my only deck that I'm like meh about. I've actually like tried to give it away to people, but whenever I do that, I sort of get like sad about it, or I'm like, oh, so, maybe one day I'll come back to this deck and be like, oh, I totally get it now. It's very, I would say you have to be intuitive to understand it because, or be very in touch with the deck because I don't feel like it gives a lot information wise, or like it's not giving you a lot of guidance in words. You have to get that, I would say, from the imagery or from, your own vibe about it. And like, maybe that is what you're looking for. So it would help in that way. Yeah, I think those are all the categories that I like to talk about. Let's see what message the deck has for us today. Maybe I'll say like, how can I get to know this deck or learn to like this deck, or do I need to learn to like this deck? What is there for me in the future of this deck? All right, I pulled the 5 of Cups. So we have emotions and we have conflict is what I would say for the 5 of Cups immediately, which, fair. It says growth to the sun, too high to hold on. Growth to the sun, too high to hold on. I feel like the vibe is, like I'm trying to understand something that like too hard, right? Like I'm I'm trying to like grasp too hard to something, or right, it literally says too high to hold on, right? Like, so if you think about something growing towards the sun, like in the image, they actually have like a plant that has like blossoms, like with flowers, and blossoms are falling off of it. It almost looks like foxglove, which is interesting. So yeah, I guess that's the other thing that personally I don't love about this deck, is that they have no descriptions of what plants are on the imagery. And to me, I imagine the artist put intention into what plants they're using. Like if this is foxglove, I'm like, oh, that gives me more information. Foxglove is, I don't know, protective, boundaried, like a strong plant used in medicine, can also be dangerous, or like it's a sedative, so it could stop your heart, for example. But also can be used in other ways medicinally. So it's like it rides the edge of like how you can use it, whether it's like helpful medicine or harmful, it depends on your intent. And so again, like if I think about cups and fives, like we're in the in-between, we're in the liminal, we're in the like, there's some maybe inner turmoil or emotional turmoil. And that is like a little bit about how I feel about these cards, where I'm like, I'm kind of conflicted. Again, if I think about Five of Cups and like perhaps if this is foxglove, yeah, I feel like it's like you're trying too hard. And so maybe that's, maybe I am, and I just need to use this deck more and see what interesting messages comes to me, but we shall see. So yeah, if you want to check out this fascinating deck that I've talked about and you're like, I'm intrigued, Camille, or like, I want this deck. Oh, there's a poem on the inside that says, petals filled with water, cupping the dew, hold the power to tip and feed us the moon. That's very cool. I like that. But yeah, if you're interested, I'll link to the Ophidia Rosa Tarot deck by Leila Olive. You can also check out their larger website they talk about like the origin of some of their decks and like their own origin. It's an art brand that's founded by illustrator, author, and floral designer Nicole Rallis. So again, I'm like, I imagine there was plant intention that went into this deck, and that's why I'm like I want to know more though. Personally. So I know they have a botanical deck, so maybe that one is like a little more labeled if that was something that I wanted, but I have a different botanical deck now that I'm into, so but yeah, you can check it out. I do love the art, it's very beautiful, so there is that going for it. Yeah, so links for the tarot decks I talk about will always be in the show notes and on my website if you like to look at them or purchase them. And thanks for joining me today on Everyday Tarot. Just as a reminder, the podcast comes out daily, Monday through Friday for all of 2025. You can email me, me@CamilleASaunders.com with your thoughts, questions, and more. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.